Hey everybody, Multiclass Gamer here with another video game collection vlog. This is my GameCube. The GameCube, as I said in my PS2 video, was the 6th generation console I grew up with. But beyond that, this is just the game console of my childhood. It's the one that had the biggest influence when it comes to video games for me. And this is my original GameCube, which I got like way back in, I don't know, 2001 or 2002. I remember being only 6 years old when I started playing GameCube games, and well, when I basically got this system. So 19 years later, this thing still runs almost perfectly. There'll be some times where it has trouble running the discs, but that could be the discs themselves, because like some of the games I have in my collection are also just as old as the system itself, just about. But as you can see, I also have the Game Boy player attached on the bottom of it. But I also, as some of you may know, I actually have two GameCubes. I have a silver one as well, and this one is almost as old as the purple one. But yeah, the reason why I have two GameCubes is because I grew up in two households. I had divorced parents. My mom got me my GameCube right here, but we had this silver GameCube at my dad's house, and that was it wasn't necessarily mine per se, but it was the family's GameCube, the household's GameCube or whatever. So yeah, we had some fun times there on both GameCubes at both places. Played a lot of the great multiplayer games, but ultimately, wait, crap, I have to look this up real quick. So ultimately, the GameCube came in third place, not too far behind the Xbox, mind you, but way behind the PlayStation 2. Both consoles didn't stand a chance against the PS2, but the GameCube also trailed behind the Xbox because well, didn't exactly have the third-party support or the power of the Xbox, but nevertheless, the GameCube is home to fantastic first-party and console exclusives, which are basically the strong point in pretty much every Nintendo system, basically. But it wasn't enough to allow it to win the generation, unfortunately. It beat the Sega Dreamcast, but everyone beat the Sega Dreamcast, unfortunately, despite how good the Dreamcast was. But nevertheless, that's pretty much the history of that's basically how it did, basically, compared to the competition. Competition was pretty stiff, basically. But anyways, I have 60, I think it's 63 games total for my GameCube, so not as much as my PS2 collection, but still pretty decent size. But the fact that it's smaller than my PS2 collection after having the GameCube for 17 years versus, or not 17 years, but like 19 years now. 19 years now compared to my PS2 only a year. That's kind of crazy, insane that I could only have 62 GameCube games and 81 PS2 games. But anyways, let's get started right away here. We have Ant Bully, so I have this on both the PS2 and GameCube. And also with the GameCube version, I can't remember if I had it with the PS2 version, but with the GameCube version, I have the movie theater voucher, the ticket. So that's pretty cool. Funny thing is, I actually started playing this on the GameCube version. I don't know why. I don't know why I would play the GameCube version over the PS2 version. One thing I do know is that I do know that the GameCube has... Obviously, the PS2 beat the GameCube by a long shot, like a freaking long shot. But I will say that with the GameCube, I tend to see at least faster load screens, like faster load times, and faster save times, too. If there's anything the GameCube has over the PS2, there's at least that, but that's not enough to obviously compare to the PS2's success. Next up, we have a very big deal for me. We have Barnyard. As you guys know, this is the copy that I played my 2011 Let's Play on, and it was one of my favorite licensed games on the GameCube growing up. It's the one that I would go back to the most next to next to the SpongeBob games, because like any of the great licensed games I point out here that I grew up with them on the GameCube because I had the GameCube and I didn't own a PS2 of my own. I wasn't collecting games to the PS2 growing up. So the licensed games that I share in this video, I had like pretty much all the memories I had growing up of them were on the GameCube version. So that's the one I'm familiar with. But unfortunately, oh yeah, I guess I should mention that my Barnyard copy, it's technically playable, I suppose, but I'm not using it specifically because of the fear of it actually crashing, because I've had issues with this actually crashing my system several times over the years, and most recently last year when I started playing it actually started corrupting GameCube memory cards, and I'll talk about memory cards a little bit towards the end of the video. But yeah, it was actually corrupting my memory cards, so that's why I had to stop playing it entirely, because I didn't want to lose any more memory cards. They're fairly easy to replace, but still, it's not worth corrupting them and having to reformat them if that does anything. Next up, we have another licensed game I played a bit growing up, but definitely not as good as Barnyard. This is Cars. I talked about this in the PS2 collection, so not much more to say about it, because I played it and I thought it was pretty okay, so. Moving on. I didn't play it seriously until... I beat it a few times, growing up, but I didn't actually start playing it, trying to complete it until college, and I didn't even then I didn't complete it until, about last year sometime, I think. Actually, no, earlier this year. I remember had my car... I had to take my car to the shop earlier this year, back in March or something like that. And I remember playing the game, while my car was in the shop, because I had to walk home and whatnot. I had to do something to pass the time, so I was playing Cars. And it was around the time that I completed for the first time 100%, so expect to see a Let's Play that game within the coming years. Next up, we have a game I just got recently. It's probably gonna be a while before I play it, but still, it's a pretty notable title on the GameCube. Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. So yeah, we got some Mario games where, basically they took a third-party, entry on the GameCube and put Mario in it, basically, to make it stand out from the other ports of it. I think another example is, I don't exactly have it, but it's what was that game? It's like a basketball game or something that's on all the platforms, but on the GameCube version, they put Mario in it as a special promotion or something like that. Anyways, next up we have another licensed game here. This one I have not played yet at all, but I obviously had a reason to pick it up because I'm into cartoon series. This is Codename Kids Next Door Operation Video Game. It says it comes with an exclusive what the hell is that? Amalgamation trading card inside? Amalgamation? It has it. Actually, it's two of them. There's supposed to be two of them? I got two of these in here. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So, another special thing that the game comes with that I happen to have because it was in the copy. So that's pretty cool. Oh, man. This one's a big deal. This was the first... Okay. I'm trying to remember correctly, but I believe this was the first game I ever had on my GameCube and one of the first video games I ever played through. Not played through to completion, but one of the first games I ever played growing up. So I have a lot of nostalgia with this one. I even did a Let's Play of it. I felt it back then. I still feel it now. And I feel this game is highly underrated. This is Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. I played the GameCube version, not the PS2 version growing up, so I didn't experience the long load screens that people are complaining about, but this does have long load screens, but not anywhere near as long as the PS2 version. And it's not as interesting either as the PS2 version, because all you get is just a blank screen with the green text saying loading, whereas with the PlayStation 2 version, you at least have the animation of Crash falling down the never-ending portal to the level, basically, so... You at least have that in the PS2 version, but still, shorter load screens. I don't know what's better, honestly. We have another beloved game that beloved to me, honestly, growing up, Crash Tag Team Racing. I hardly played Crash Team Racing growing up. I didn't have it, because I didn't have an original PlayStation growing up. The only original PlayStation I had access to was at my aunt's house, and we hardly ever visited her, and she had, all the original Crash games and whatnot, so I played Crash Team Racing for maybe, a combined total of an hour at the most growing up, but Crash Tag Team Racing is the one I had the most memories with, and therefore the one I have a fondness for. I have nostalgia, basically. I know most people don't like it, but I do. Next up we have... Ooh. Donkey Kong Jungle Beats, and yes, I do have the bongos. I don't plan... I'm not going to show them in this video, but you guys know what they look like for the most part. But, yeah, you play... It's a... kind of like Donkey Kong Country, sort of, except you're playing with, you're controlling the game with DK bongos. I don't know if it requires, I think it does require the bongos, but either way, it's not a very, it says compatible with the bongos, it doesn't say it requires them. I don't know. Either way, it's not a very, I don't know, I haven't really heard much about it, and I'm pretty sure it's just an okay game, but I'll find out once I get around to it. Next up, we have Donkey Konga. This is basically, it's like a rhythm-based game, basically, where where it plays songs and you have to beat the bongos to the rhythm. Basically, that's pretty much all there is to it. Well, seems like there was more to it than that because they got a sequel actually, Donkey Konga 2, and there was a third one, Donkey Konga 3, but that was only in Japan. So yeah, you're not gonna see me having that in my collection because I'm not so obsessed with collecting games that I have to have the Japanese versions, or the Japanese exclusives or whatever. But just know that it exists. Next up we have Enter the Matrix. Yeah, they made a game, well actually 2 games at least, based off the Matrix franchise or trilogy or whatever. And this is a 2-disc based game. I didn't know this actually. I never opened the case to find out, but yeah, this is a 2-disc game. So it's got Atari's name on it. Did Atari make this? Or did they just publish it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, be interesting when I get around to these, because I love the Matrix trilogy. Oh, here's another one I did Let's Play of. Fairly Odd Parents Breaking No Rules. Yeah, pretty fun game, I suppose. It's okay. It's not one of the greatest or even a very great licensed game, but it's decent, you know. Does its job, basically, as a licensed game. Here's another one of that sort, Finding Nemo. Developed by the same people who made Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, and again, they did a pretty good job here. It's a pretty decent licensed game. But there's quite a bit to it, and honestly, I grew up with the Game Boy Advance version, so I don't really have any memories associated with this. But still looking forward to playing whenever I do. And here we have one that I had growing up, around the time it came out, but I hardly ever played it. Again, this is a game I only played a combined total of an hour or so. But yeah, I got stuck in the second level or something like that. It's Flushed Away. Flushed Away is a pretty good movie. I liked it, honestly, but yeah, the game is just pretty meh. I don't know, maybe I'll like it when I actually get around to it, who knows. Okay, next up we have Happy Feet. Did Let's Play this back in the day? Do I sell the ticket? I don't think I do. I might have actually used it for all I know, honestly, because I don't know. I definitely don't have the ticket anymore, but I know I got this game when it came out, so, or when the movie came out, so definitely had it at some point, but it's no longer. Yeah, it's no longer in there, but still, it's a pretty meh licensed game as well as its sequel. Spoiler alert. Okay, this one I have not played yet, but I know the movie that's based on. Not a lot of people like it, but I honestly do, because again, once again, it's a nostalgia thing. It came out when I was 8, and I don't know. I remember my dad watching this a lot too when I was a kid. So, but it was pretty fun for me. Hulk. I apologize for building that one up so much because it's not very notable. Next up, we have The Incredibles. Once again, I showed this in my PS2 collection, so you already know the story about this. I'm planning to do a blind Let's Play of this and having it on the 50th Let's Play poll. But for the GameCube, I also have The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer, because back in 2004, or not 2004, 2005 or something like that. It says, what? Yeah, 2004. Okay, so yeah. We got Incredibles 2 recently, a couple of years ago, as an actual movie, but this was technically the sequel that we had before Incredibles 2, where it actually follows up with the Underminer, so that's pretty interesting, but otherwise, it's not a very notable game. Okay, next up we have, 007 Agent Under Fire. I had this on the PS2 version, and I'd be more quick to play the GameCube version than that, because of the whole memory card issue that I mentioned in the PS2 collection, so. But probably more so the Xbox version. Okay, we got Jimmy Neutron Attack of the Twonkies here. Nothing notable about this that I didn't already say in the PS2 version, but, well, there's probably people watching the GameCube collection that aren't watching the PS2 collection, so fair enough. But basically haven't played this yet, but I love the special that it's based on, so I'm sure I'll like this, possibly. Who made this, by the way? THQ Australia. Interesting. They're the same ones that made the SpongeBob Lights, Camera, Pants, so this could probably be good. Because I know they did a good job with Lights, Camera, Pants. Oh boy, this one. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to doing a Let's Play of this. I actually have plans to do an LP of this, and it's not in the same way that most people have done Let's Play of it, but this is Kirby Air Ride. A fantastic GameCube exclusive. I still remember the day that my mom brought this home, and she actually kind of bought it just as a surprise, honestly. I wasn't even with her at the time that she got it. She just kind of bought it and then brought it home and showed it to me. I was like, okay, I'll play it. and I end up having a really good time with it. And I've played this like pretty much every year for the past, like, ever since it came out in 2003. So this is a fantastic Kirby game. It's a Kirby racing game, but it's also, more importantly, the closest we ever got to a 3D Kirby game. But it's a fantastic racing game with its own unique identity, basically, in the racing genre. Next up, we have The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. Got this a few years ago, still haven't played it yet, but yeah, as mentioned before in the PS2 collection, the Legend of Spyro trilogy is nothing to write home about. It's pretty uninteresting. I don't know how to say it. I mean, it's like it's interesting, but it's not really a good trilogy, I guess. I don't know. Okay, this game I don't technically own. This is actually not really my copy. It's more like it's actually Corsair Joe's. I borrowed it way back in 2017. I haven't been able to return it to him yet because I was doing the Let's Play of the game, and the Let's Play was on hiatus for a few years, and then finally I canceled a few months ago. But I haven't seen Corsair Joe since then, so I haven't been able to return it to him. But this is Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. Fantastic game. This is the first Legend of Zelda game I ever completed, like ever. And I completed it very recently. I completed also the HD version. Had a really fun time with it. But yeah, this Zelda game will always be special to me as the one that I completed first. The one that was basically my gateway Zelda game, as I keep on calling it. Next up, we have a game I played a little bit of, specifically the HD version. This is Zelda Twilight Princess. This was actually better known as a launch title for the Wii back in the day. But it was also on the GameCube and eventually got ported to the Wii U as the HD version. And yeah, from what I played, it's pretty fun so far. So looking forward to finishing it up eventually in the future. Okay, next up we have something very interesting. I don't know how they make a game out of this, and I think I went to this with the PS2 version, but still, I still feel this way. It's a series of unfortunate events, Lemony Snickets. It says free child's series of unfortunate events movie tickets. I'm guessing it's not in there anymore. Nope, it's not. How sad, but oh well. Wait, it is. Crap. It was hiding under the instruction book. I have it. It's right here. That's pretty cool. When's the expiration date? Let's see. January 31st, 2005. Oh, it's so cool to see that. Something so ancient and so cool. Well, not ancient, but how ancient is 2005 exactly? 15 years, but still. Oh, another good one. My very first Let's Play, a launch title on the GameCube, so one of the first GameCube games I played as well, alongside Crash Bandicoot: Wrath of Cortex. It's Luigis Mansion. I still love this game to this very day. I play it every year in October, and I just can't get enough of it. It's just so good. I will always love it over the 3DS remake as well as the sequels so far. Well, I haven't played much of the sequels, so it's not really fair judgment there. Now here's another really cool licensed game I played growing up. It's Madagascar. A Let's Play is definitely planned for this one, but the thing is, I never got 100% on it. There's like some coins I can't find in certain levels, so it'll be interesting whenever I do get around to it, but I don't know if I'll ever complete this one, honestly, so that's what worries me. But regardless, it's a fun, pretty decent licensed game, I will say. Oh boy, here it is. Mario Kart Double Dash. This is my favorite Mario Kart game of all time. No other Mario Kart game can compete with it in my book, but I will acknowledge that it's not as good as some other Mario Kart games are, but I still love it, personally. Never noticed a sticker on the back of it. That's kind of annoying, but whatever. It's a pre-owned copy, obviously, but still. It's a game I really want in my collection, and I will do a Let's Play of it fairly soon. Maybe if I do the Mario Kart games all in order or something like that, I have no idea. I don't know what my plans are quite there, but still. Okay, next up we have Mario Party 4. And was never really too much into the Mario Party games. I don't have any friends around here to play them with, so I don't know how long it'll take for me to get around to those, but who knows. Maybe someday. It's got quite a ways to go here. Next up we have Mario Party 5. Now, from what I heard, the Mario Party games basically gradually get worse as they go along, but I'm sure the first two on the GameCube are just fine. Next up we have, did a multiplayer madness of this one, but never actually played it otherwise. It's Medal of Honor Frontline. It's one of those games I had at my my dad's house that wasn't really my game. It was actually my stepbrother's, but I never really cared to play it myself, so not much to it, honestly. I'll play it eventually. Next up we have Meet the Robinsons, based on the Disney film. And this is not an actual GameCube case. It definitely looks more like a PS2 case. Can you see that? Yeah, it's definitely a PS2 case, so it's kind of a weird entry to my collection, but still, nevertheless, it's a really good movie. So I guess I'll see how good the game is in the future at some point. See what I did there in the future. Okay, this one right here. Metroid Prime. This is now one of my favorite games on the GameCube of all time, but I didn't play it until 2012 for the first time as a blind Let's Play, as you guys know. And I still love this game to this very day. Yeah, I have the special edition that comes with the Metroid Prime 2 bonus disc, which I also showed at the very end of Let's Play as a bonus episode to kind of give myself a preview of Metroid Prime 2, which, yeah, as I also did a blind Let's Play back in 2015, so I've only played this game for 5 years now, but it's still, like, it actually topped Metroid Prime for me. Like, no joke, I actually love this more than the first game, but, you all know about that from the blind Let's Play, so moving on. Oh, boy, here we go. We have Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. This is not the same game as the PS2 version. Well, technically, here's the thing. They have the same title, but they were made by two different developers, actually. Yeah, so the PS2 version of Need for Speed was developed by EA Black Box, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 on GameCube and Xbox was developed by EA Seattle. So they were both developed by EA. So technically the same developers, but they were developed in different studios or whatever, like different buildings. So, they're the same game, but they're not, essentially. It's kind of weird. Like, they have different game engines, essentially. And they play differently than each other. They have the same cars, not the same tracks, but, like, the same... Actually, no, I think they have the same tracks, too. But, like, the games are designed differently. Like, the interface is different. Like, a lot of stuff is different, and the controls are different. Like, they just feel like two different games, honestly. And I find myself preferring this one a lot more over this one. And it's mainly because of the differences in, like, controls and whatnot. Because, like, the handling just doesn't feel right in the GameCube or Xbox version. They both, like, I find myself spinning out a lot more whenever I play the GameCube and Xbox version. And it's just, I don't like the controls. I don't like the feel of the EA Seattle version. It's just not right. When I play the PS2 version, yeah, I spin out a lot, but oftentimes it's my fault because I'm not handling, like, I'm not, being careful enough or whatever. But, like, with I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's just like, I just don't like the GameCube or Xbox version. I really don't. PS2 version's awesome. It's one of my favorite PS2 games of all time, but the GameCube version, no. I'm not interested in ever playing that one again. I don't know what it is, but, like, I just find myself spinning out, like, constantly in that one, so I can't, like, even, like, just trying to do a simple turn is just it's a lot of trouble in that one. I just don't know. I can't even, honestly, with that one. Maybe I'll go into a deeper detail about it someday, but I don't know. Next up, we have Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Islands. I had this back at the time of its release, and it's kind of interesting. Like, obviously, the idea is very appealing to me, like, having multiple Nicktoons characters in different universes, having a crossover together. Like, how could any 11-year-old resist, honestly? But, yeah, after playing the game a little bit, I kind of lost interest in it. It's just something about it that just doesn't really matter to me. Like, it's a co-op game, so I'd probably have a lot more fun if I had played this with a friend, so maybe that will be a possibility at some point, but, yeah, otherwise, I don't really care much for it. Next up, we have Open Season, another licensed game I haven't played yet. It's on the GameCube, and I also have the PS2 version, too. Not much more to say about this that I haven't already said before. Oh, here's another licensed game I played a lot growing up, and actually I'm still kind of fond of. Over the Hedge. Did a multiplayer madness of this back in December 2015, and look forward to eventually doing a Let's Play of it, probably most likely by myself. I was going to do a co-op of it with Yoshi Fantail, as I mentioned the PS2 version, but yeah, obviously it didn't pan out so well. Okay. Here we have one of the best GameCube games of all time, and also my favorite games of all time, and actually it's my favorite RPG of all time currently. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. This is the copy I've had since the around the time of its release, but it's not the original case, obviously. It's a Blockbuster PS2 case or whatever. So it's not the actual legitimate case or even the legit artwork. It's obviously printed out, kind of. You can't tell from the video, but trust me, like if you had this, if you held this case in real life, you would know that it's definitely not the original case. But either way, it's a fantastic game. I will be doing a Let's Play of it at some point to express my love for that game, but right now we gotta move on here. Oh boy. It's Pikmin. Released very early in the GameCube lifespan, and I remember seeing trailers of it back of its day. And let me tell you, this is another one of the fantastic GameCube games that it's a fantastic must-have. I mean, of course, there's the Wii version if you want to get that instead with the better controls. Well, people say the controls are better, but honestly, I kind of like the GameCube version's controls better, just because I'm used to them, I guess. And of course, one of my other favorite games of all time, Pikmin 2. This is actually one of the more rare games to find on the GameCube, so I'm very fortunate to have this, and I got this around the time it came out, so it's probably the best time to get it. But yeah, I fell in love with the game instantly after playing the first game, moving on to this one straight away. It was tons and tons of fun, still to this very day. I actually kind of feel like playing it right now, honestly. Another licensed game I had growing up and I had some experience with, Ratatouille. I remember having fun with the cheat codes in this one, and also the some of the mini games and whatnot, but the adventure itself was pretty meh. But still, for the most part, they had some pretty decent ideas here. I mean, like, this was made by, yeah, Heavy Iron Studios, the same people made Battle for Bikini Bottom, so it's definitely, you know, they obviously have a reputation for making fantastic games because of that, but this one's, it's meh. I'd play this over Cars, basically, but definitely not over Battle for Bikini Bottom, so make it that what you will. Next up we have Robots. Oh, this one's also got the movie ticket. Let's see if I have it. I was supposed to have the ticket, I mean. No ticket. Oh well, not a big deal. No big loss, but I haven't actually seen the Robots movie that much, honestly. I don't remember seeing like the full movie once. I've seen like bits and pieces of it, but never the full movie. Interestingly enough, the memory card usage is 21 blocks, unlike most of these games I have in my collection, which are only like 2 or 3 at the most. So, that's something, I guess. Rocket Power Beach Bandits. This is kind of interesting story about this one. I remember someone from elementary school like had this game and and they didn't want anymore. So like, hey, do you want this game? I don't want anymore. So that's how I got it. I just got a free game randomly back in elementary school, basically, and this was the result. It's looks like it's made by Evolution Games. It looks interesting, but I'll have to try it out at some point to find out. It's just not a licensed game otherwise. Ugh, that face, that freaking face. I cannot. That's the thing. That's the face I see in my nightmares. Shark Tail. Oh boy. Oh. Now here's a really great. Well, it's kind of divisive these days, especially with all the YouTube reviews I've seen coming out. But I like it. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It's the only. I don't have the original Dreamcast version, so this is the only version I can play. And I played this a little bit growing up, so there's definitely a lot of nostalgia to it for me. But I understand it's a very divisive game. Sonic Racers. We've got just a Sonic racing game, basically, that I didn't really care for, but nevertheless, it's part of my collection anyway, so meh. I'm sure at some point I'll get into it, though. Okay, time for the SpongeBob games. We have Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. We have Battle for Bikini Bottom, the version I grew up with. SpongeBob movie game, the version I grew up with. And, Lights, Camera, Pants, the one I didn't have growing up, but I have now, so that completes my GameCube collection of SpongeBob games. And finally, Creature from the Krusty Krab. By the time this came out, the GameCube was on its way out, so I think this is one of the last GameCube games I got growing up. Not quite sure, though. Okay. Now, for the 2 Spyro games, we have Enter the Dragonfly. There's only the PS2 and GameCube version, and both of them suck, so I'll have to choose wisely when going into this one. Next up, we have Spyro: A Hero's Tale. So, slightly better than Enter Dragonfly from what I've heard. Again, I haven't played it yet, but I'll find out for myself how I feel about it. Okay, we got a Star Fox Adventures. Star Fox and Zelda have a baby, basically. Well, more like Star Fox just tries to act like Zelda, basically. To mixed effects, basically. Mixed results. Super Mario Sunshine. Do I need to see anything else about this game? Let's play it 3 times now, so moving on. Now, here's a must-have for all GameCube owners. It's Super Smash Bros. Melee. Everyone says it's the best GameCube game, or best Smash Bros. Game of all time. It's definitely one of the best GameCube games of all time. I won't deny that. It's fantastic. You cannot deny the awesomeness of this game, but I think it's on par with basically all the other Smash Bros. Games. I don't really prefer any of them over the other, basically. Surf's up, dudes. This was actually the last game I had growing up, the last GameCube game I got. Because Surf's Up came out like 2007. That was like the middle of 2007. The GameCube was basically done. 2007 was the last year of the GameCube, basically, so it was basically done at that point, so I had moved on. Well, not really moved on, because it took a couple of years for me to get my Wii, but still. Or a few years, actually. 2009. Tekken Power Juju. Had the Game Boy Advance version growing up, so I don't really know much about it quite yet. Oh, here we go. Turok Evolution. The GameCube version. Nothing more to say about that, honestly. Oh, so I don't have the original tie, but I have tie 2, Bush Rescue. So, do I have tie 3? No, I don't. I only have tie 2 on the GameCube, okay. Wallace and Gromit, Project Zoo. And finally, this one I don't even have the case for, and it's not even my game, honestly. It's actually a copy I'm borrowing from a friend until I'm able to return to them again. Just like with Zelda Wind Waker, we have a Wario World. So eventually I'll get an actual copy of the game for myself. But either way, it's a nice short game. Nice short, sweet game I like to play every year. I've done 2 Let's Plays of it, so yeah, that's it. That's my GameCube collection, folks. Now, one last thing I'd like to show is one of the most sought after GameCube discs to get is the GameCube Start Game Boy Startup disc, Game Boy Player Startup disc. You get the idea. So this is very hard to find these days. You can actually find the Game Boy Player itself pretty easily, but the disc, a little hard to come by, honestly. But so yeah, I'm pretty glad they have it because that means I'm able to do those GBA, SpongeBob, or Game Boy Advance Let's Plays for you guys. But I feel bad for anyone who doesn't have this and needs to get it because it's definitely very nice to have. But the thing is, though, you technically don't need this if you can mod your Game Boy Player, because people have actually modded the Game Boy Player to not only not require the startup disc, but also to perform better than the base hardware. So it's probably not worth it to get this, honestly. And plus, who doesn't love a good old game of what is it? Disc only. Yeah, disc only Game Boy Player, basically. Who doesn't love a game of that, honestly? Now, also inside the case, as you saw, was a memory card, and this memory card is my very first memory card. It's an actual Nintendo GameCube memory card. Where's the camera? Right there. You can see it says Aaron's Crash on it. I remember my mom wrote that because this is actually a memory card I used to store Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, so that's how I know it's my first memory card of all time that I ever had. And it's got 59 blocks of space on it. That is criminal, because nowadays you can get third-party GameCube memory cards with like 2,000 blocks of space, or like 63 megabytes. That's the one I have right now over here by my TV. Yeah, nowadays you can get these third-party GameCube memory cards which contain 2,000 blocks of space. It says 64 megabytes. So 64 megabytes equates to like 2,000 spaces just about. So yeah, it's a lot more worth it just to get these, basically. But that's pretty much all I have to say about the GameCube. There's well, at least overall wise, but yeah, just overall fantastic system and lots of great memories here. Definitely share yours if you have any with the GameCube. Definitely love to hear them. And join me next time for another video game collection video or just something else, whatever I decide to talk about tomorrow. Otherwise, yeah, it's just been a normal day. Today's my second day off this week, so just hanging out, relaxing, showing my game collections. So, anyways, we're going to end things off here, and I'll see you guys from next vlog, whenever that is. And yeah, otherwise, I don't have much to talk about. Well, there's other stuff too, but I'd rather save it for a shorter video. So, thank you so much. Goodbye.